Senso Kyoshitsu, or The Bugle Call, is a manga written by Mozuko Sora and illustrated by Higoro Tomori, and is apparently published by Shueisha, so hopefully this video doesn't get striked. Also, in this video I will be covering two chapters of the manga, because one, I think you should experience this for yourself, and two, I actually have not read past chapter 2. Also, from what I've found, I seem to be the first person to make a video on this, but I might be wrong about that. But if I am right, I think it's pretty surprising. Anyways, on to the actual story. The main character is named Ryuka, according to the scan I read, but Luca, according to the wiki, so it must be something because Japan, they see R and L as sort of the same thing, so it might be like a mistranslation. But anyways, I'm gonna call him Ryuka just for consistency's sake. And so yeah. Anyways, Ryuka hates war, like, and hates everything around him, including this guy named Hart, I think Gayhart or something like that. Gerhart? I forget. Anyways, Ryuka hates Gerhart and everything else in the world, so except for the bugle. And apparently, he can see sounds. This all comes to a climax when on one day he's forced to fight in the spear division. And then, is that the villain group? Like, I'm not sure. Anyways, someone starts destroying the whole entire battalion, and then suddenly he gets injured and a horse flies at him. After that, Ryuka gets a seemingly lethal injury, and he realizes he does not want to die, and he awakens some kind of power that allows him to play the war like Total War or something. Like, he's able to control all the troops at a distance and able to do whatever he wants to perfectly, though I guess in Total War that doesn't always happen. After that, Ryuka's side either wins or at least is able to get away, and then he seemingly is about to die, but then someone else picks him up, and at the same time, Gayhart starts going over to him. Oh yeah, and another person takes half of his injury, which I thought that it's something like they all have. They can take away part of your injury. So I was thinking, why don't they all just take away a fourth of it? But later on, it's found out that they all just have one power, or at least from what I can tell, they all just have one power. So they can't all take away a bit of the injury. After that, Gerhardt arrives and he asks them one condition to take away Ryuka, and that is for them to teach him music. And he starts crying because, he's like the only fatherly figure he had in his entire life, even if he was, kind of not good at that. After that, Ryuka gets taken away and Gayhart gets killed. And then it shows something really interesting, which when Ryuka wakes up, he sees a giant tower outside of a window. That alone is pretty interesting, along with the whole abilities he has and the others have. But something that I think makes it even more interesting is that in the second chapter, it talks about how these towers, like, they have certain levels of technology in them, and there are several across the world, and depending on the technology in them is like how powerful a country will be. That's what really made me think, oh, I want to make this video because this is really interesting. And it also makes you come up with a lot of theories, like, is it a post-apocalyptic version of our world? Because, the giant towers with crazy technology in them, and that it takes place during medieval Europe, seemingly. So, it's like, is it supposed to be medieval Europe, or is it like, them trying to rebuild after something really bad happened? And at the end of chapter 2, it shows something pretty interesting. This whistle dude, who is actually the Pope, shows Ryuka a empire called the Empire of Eren, which they need to destroy or take down. And it looks like at one city from Dark Souls, you know? And anyway, they have to kill this guy called the Garland, who is like higher up in it, and like he's super powerful because he destroyed like a single country with only one strike. So yeah, overall, I think this is a really interesting manga, and it could probably go on for a while and could be really interesting. So that's why I made this video. I'll probably be making more videos, and I'm sorry for the bad quality, especially with all the pauses and the ums probably. Anyways, yeah, you should probably go check it out, and anyways, yeah, sorry.